Is Jose Alvarado the most impactful bench player in basketball?
You asking me? Because I really feel like
Must know that
Ah,
first. Can't nothing and nobody fade what we trying to do and what we about to do. Second thing is, we got this game on our level. You understand what I'm saying?
welcome to another episode in space. I'm your host, Chris Connor, also known as Honey Badger Sanders. That's Fillmore Slim. You know what I mean? Live in Jerry World over there. I'm over here at the crib. Shout out to all the people here that support us, man. Shout out to Crystal Hot Sauce. Shout out to all the crystals in this world. Shout out to Scott Vignair. Hurt? Call 504-500-1111. DraftKings Sportsbook. All the people that support us that make this a little bit easier. Even when you are running out of content and
running out of
you,
content. What is that? What is that?
we
Who
don't
doing
know.
that?
We don't know.
Who
We
doing
don't
that?
know. You just create. You know what I mean? You just record. There's a video that Wayne got. It was on a documentary. He was talking about, I need my engineer. You know, I need the
The
right beat. I
subject. I
need the
need a
right.
verb.
And
I need a.
so, fuck is you doing?
What is you
Go
doing?
record. You know. So,
Ammo,
that's what,
clips, ammo. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
with you. I'm with you.
And that's what we here to do. We here to record. So we here to talk about Jose Alvarado. I was thinking, I was like, man, like, what can we talk about? Who have we not talked about? With giving like a full feature, a full show about, and I thought about like Jose Alvarado. So and it just so happens that Matt Moore on Twitter, you might know him for some of his work with the Action Network. Believe he's been on CBS. He put out a tweet that shout out to Five. Five went ahead and quote tweeted, and he's been pretty consistent in his line of thinking in regards to Jose Alvarado, how important he is. I don't need to tell y'all how essential he's been for this team, but I know that we've had questions about if that's a good or a bad thing. Is that more so, you know, has he been put in situations? Has the team struggles that we've discussed consistently about starting games and the fit of some of the best players, the best two players on the team, and him and others, Najee Marshall in the past, Larry Nance, Dyson Daniels, the bench having to come back and give energy and revitalize things and kind of change games consistently. Is that more so about his impact, or is that more so about the struggles of others? So let's look here. Five said in response here to Matt Moore's tweet, follow him at HP Basketball. Jose Alvarado was never going to win Sixth Man of the Year, and I genuinely think he's the most impactful bench player in the league and has been for 3 seasons. Five said, I'm on record saying the same thing. Lito, that's a hell of a statement by him, not by Five, but by Matt Moore. I've never heard anyone say that before. I'm curious of your thoughts.
Pull the tweet up again. One more time. All right. All right. You good. I was trying to think of impactful bench players in the NBA. It brought me right to TJ McConnell. And then I started thinking about like I was really struggling to name another person because and maybe because it's just like, you know, I'm on a spot with it, but is he the most impactful in the NBA? I don't know. I'd say he's probably in the top 5-10 though. But you know what, Chris? Before I even say that, I want to find a list.
I got one for you.
Let's do it.
I got one for you. So, believe it or not, there's a 6 Man of the Year list. And by a list, I mean in regards to rankings. by votes that are cast each and every year. Nas Reed, of course, won the award last year. Who do you think number 2 was? Votes wise.
Number 2 on
maybe
the list.
maybe it's wrong. Maybe it's wrong to ask you because you couldn't think of bench players, impactful bench players at all. So Malik Monk was second.
I was about to say Malik Monk.
Okay.
Bobby Portis.
Bobby Portis was third.
I'm
gonna keep going.
Go ahead.
Norman Powell was fourth.
Damn, I forgot about him.
Bogdan Bogdanovic in Atlanta was fifth. And what about Jose Alvarado was sixth.
Okay. Wow. Nope. Didn't see that. Nope.
Your guy TJ McConnell was seventh.
TJ.
So while Jose didn't get any first, he didn't get any six-man of the year overall votes. He did get some points that made him sixth.
Peyton Pritchard wasn't okay.
Peyton Pritchard did not make the top 10.
Okay.
So that was just from last year. And I think, that's telling, bro, because and I'll go back here. Like I'm sure this wasn't the first year Jose was in the top 10, but maybe it was. He wasn't top 10 the year prior when Malcolm Brogdon won it for Boston. 2021 was he? I'd be surprised if he was. I don't think he was. He was not. So no. Last year was the first year, bro, where he finished. We keep looking here. Yeah. First year of his career, he finished top 10 in six of the year voting. And he finished number 6 last season.
Damn, dog. You can't use StatMuse no more. Boy, they charge me $20 a subscription.
Man, we used to live in a proper country, dog.
Wow, that's crazy. But I'm gonna say this: 2 things. 5 has been an advocate of Jose Alvarado since his tenure started in New Orleans. He the reason why I started looking at Jose different for real, because not that I didn't see the talent or not that I didn't see the impact as a player. I looked at him as a novelty for real. But after some time, man, you just start to see the guy's importance. Like Jose Alvarado's IQ as a basketball player. I mean, he's been the only point guard, the only pure true point guard on this team for a long time. And now you have DeJounte, so Jose maybe can, kind of fit into a better, more efficient role. Like, you're not asking him to play above his ceiling any longer. But man, I tell you what I never do again, I'm never gonna question Jose Alvarado. Never gonna question his. Yeah.
Yeah, let me ask you then. Does the Pelicans adding another point guard, another guy who can play point guard from a traditional sense, does that elevate Jose? Does that help him? Or does that hurt him? Because you could argue that a lot of Jose's, effect was highlighted just based off of what the Pelicans lacked. You could make that argument, right? But now with another point guard, does it take away from how important he was, or is it just that Jose's gonna always be Jose, and similar to what makes him be the player that he's become in this league? There's just things, no matter what his role is, you just can't teach, and it's always going to be useful.
I'm gonna answer that with a question. Does Tyrese Halliburton's game take away from TJ McConnell's game?
That's a great question. It does not. It does not. That's probably one of the best follow-up questions you ever asked me.
So no, because also at the same time, like just much like TJ and Tyrese, Jose and DeJounte don't do the same things. You know what I'm saying? Like Jose still brings a different demeanor and a different type of style to the game. They probably have the same attitude, to be honest, as far as like the aggression that they play with. But you know, while DeJounte has the size, pause, Jose has to be a little bit more sneaky in his style of playing, game planning. I would say that Jose is probably one of the more high IQ guys in the NBA for real. Like, not even talking about the Pelicans, just basketball in general. Like, he's one of the more high IQ guys. And being a small guard is not something that just happened to him last night. Like, he's been a small guard his whole life. So he knows how to pick his spots, and he knows, how to attack bigger defenders. You see his pick and roll usage. You see him, often implement a crab dribble once he gets the defender on his hip so they can't get back in front of him. I mean, that's one of the best defenders in the NBA, and bam, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think no. So to answer your question, just in a no, it will not hinder him. He will. There will still be minutes for Jose, and he will still be effective.
Yeah, I mean, man, that there's the thing I think that even has Jose in the situation. How we even ended up finding out about his ability as a player is that his ability to improvise, the things that he just simply does off script. Jose has a really good feel for timing and a shot that is, even if it's the wrong shot for him to shoot, he understands momentum very well.
Yep.
And he takes chances, sometimes the wrong chances, but it's the gift and the curse.
Yep. Gotta live with it.
You gotta live with it. It's one of the only reasons that we're able to even be in a situation where he can hide out of bounds. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy that he can hide in opposing. He can hide by the bench and still get some of the greatest players to ever play the game, bringing the ball up the floor. It's crazy. Like he'll be remembered forever for that, for nothing else. But what I will say though, and I'm with you, I started to question, and part of this is just because of my dislike for small guards, and unfortunately, it's fucked up. That's a bias. Yeah, that's a bias of mine, right? And it's probably unfair because they will always be small guards, and they will all like Jose does things that, like, even stuff like that, bro. Just the little things, the annoying parts of the game that you really can't say anything about are going to, like, they matter. And it's fucked up. You wish some of your better players would master them. He has to be in the league, but he does things that, man, for so long, I was like, okay, is this a gimmick? How good of an actual basketball player is he?
Yes.
Right? Well, now, if it was just a gimmick, I don't think he would still be in the league. I don't think he would still be in a situation. He survived, for better or for worse. Even if Willie Green gave Jordan Hawkins the amount of minutes that he was supposed to get, Jose Alvarado will probably still find a way to play minutes because he just does. He always does, no matter what the situation is. He's done that since he's been in the league. But Lito, the thing I think that was most important for him, and we talk about impactful, like, all of this stuff is very impactful. It changes games. It brings energy to teams, to situations, to crowds. Like, you can't draw it up. But the thing that changed for him, and what's going to be more important for him as another person, it's added to the bench. Another really good player is going to be added to the bench just because how this team is set up and who they added. But another point guard, another basketball handler, he became a better shooter.
Yes, sir.
That was it. And we've been talking about it. It was the same with Najee. It's like, bro, if he simply becomes 37% three-point shooter, the year before I think he shot 33. I think I may have been asking for 35. But if he becomes even an above average shooter, that changes everything. And last year he did that. So for even with his lack of height or lack of weight, his ability to shoot alone is something that changes his or changes how I view him in regards to playing in this league and specifically playing for this team.
Man, you talked about a novelty. You talked about him being like, man, I don't want to call him a novelty. I'm okay. Yeah, I'm just saying because that's what I was thinking. You know, I was like, how long is this guy gonna be able to get away with this? I don't like small guards. I'm not a fan of small guards either. So, but the one thing I will say about small guards, like this, for instance, this possession, right? When you're a bigger player, you have a smaller player, it makes you uncomfortable because they're underneath you. You can't dribble, you can't get into your shooting pocket. It's just an aggravation. It's an annoyance. The energy that he plays with, it cannot be duplicated. It's not something that's you can like recreate. It's basically lightning out of a bottle, is what it is. And you know, you talked about him lasting in the NBA. Chris, he lasting in the NBA, but fuck, he the best player in Puerto Rican basketball. He the best player on that team. He one of the reasons why they won FIBA games. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like he's branded himself as one of the best basketball players in FIBA in the tournament, right? Safe to say, I mean, you could say he's one of the best FIBA basketball players in the world. Like, it's crazy. We're talking about Jose Alvarado, and it's not crazy when you think about it, but I'm just saying from the beginnings of like where he started and what it started off as a gimmick.
A fun story, a cool story, a underdog kind of thing, a movie.
Yeah. And now, like, man, I would be safe to say Jose Alvarado is like really a more of a complete basketball player. You know what I'm saying? Not complete in the terms of like he not gonna ever be whoever, just to name a guy out there. But like Jose Alvarado is a guy who will come in, he gonna get you steady, he gonna give you steady minutes, he gonna play hard. Injuries not gonna matter to him.
Excuse me?
He gonna play hard? Damn.
And tough. Not only he gonna give you steady minutes, and man, Jesus, bro.
I was podding, man. I was podding.
It's late. It's late. You got excited.
I was podding, man. Yeah.
All right,
my bad.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm with you though, man. Like now it's transforming from the story to the basketball player more and more. Yeah. To a dude with a nickname, a dude that had a few cool moments. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, bro. I thought I was waiting, like, a few others of us on the network. I was waiting. When does it end?
When does it end?
When does it end? Is Jordan Hawkins the reason that it ends? Or do they trade him? Or is who takes his minutes? Is he just situational? And the thing about guys like him, man, is that like you don't get to determine that. I realized that about him. Like, I'm sure folks have been trying to, before Pat Bev went overseas this year, folks been trying to get rid of him for 10 years.
Yep.
It didn't happen. Folks been more than likely trying to get rid of TJ McConnell for years. Like, you don't belong. You know what I mean? You're not, but it's what, like you said, he's been a small guard his entire career. He's been facing an uphill battle his entire life. This ain't nothing new to him. The tractors. And I hope I'm keeping that same energy right now when I'm saying this. Shout out to Jose.
Come on.
I hope that I'm KTSE in here.
Come on, Jose.
It's the truth, man. Like, that's the truth. We are no different than his detractors. But the thing about him is that he continues to find ways to prove people wrong. And I think now, I mean, shit, I'm at a point to where I think he's a part. I'm not questioning if he's a part of the rotation. And for me, that's a step up. My question is, how important is he going to be? Because if the Pelicans were taking care of business in the first quarter, would we still view Jose Alvarado the same way we did? I don't know. But I think 5 would tell you we would. I think Antonio Daniels will tell you we would, because he's not going to change how he plays. He's going to be the same crowd favorite. He's going to be the same dude that hustles out there on the floor. Like, I think about like playoff series, bro. Jose Alvarado was trying to take over games. That's not supposed to happen. Last year, when the Zion career high game in the playing game against the Lakers, guess who was sharing the floor with him? Guess who made some big shots in that game?
He the reason he was part of it. He a catalyst. He lightning in the bottle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think if you put Jose Alvarado on another team, and this is like, I swear to God, it's no hyperbole. Like, I think Jose Alvarado was gonna be Jose Alvarado wherever he went.
Yep.
Wherever he ended up, Jose Alvarado was gonna be this person. You know
He
what I'm
had
saying?
to.
Yep. He had to. He just got that attitude, bro. Like, he one of them people. Like when Kobe, we talking about, there's a Kobe quote about running. There's a brick wall, and how you gonna get over it? Like, I'm gonna run through that motherfucker. Like, I'm not gonna go around it. I'm not gonna go over it. I'm gonna go through the wall. Like, that's really it. And yo, you know what, Chris? Let me ask you this: is Jose Alvarado a part of this team's core?
No.
Okay, yes, no, but is he a part of? He has to be one of the more important players on this team, though, right?
He's a part of what they think their fabric and their culture is.
Okay.
When Larry Nance was in the spaces a few years ago, and I disagree with what he thought, what his response was to culture, what the Pelicans' culture or identity was, but everything that he mentioned, like, it exemplifies Jose Alvarado. It explains who and what he is and what he brings to the game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man. I mean, I don't think he's a part of the core, but if he continues to be someone that you can't move, and he continues to be valuable, no matter what, for what they're paying him, he's overplayed his value.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So I mean, he's doing his part. You just got to ask at some point,
when is it?
When does it, like, what's the ceiling with it, and how impactful? Because he's a winning basketball player. He makes winning plays, but what's the ceiling for that guy if a team has, championship aspirations? And
when is my bad.
If a team has championship aspirations, and maybe, a guy like Peyton Pritchard can say hello in Boston. Pat Bear's been a part of.
Really?
I mean, I don't know. So it's an interesting question, but I do think the good thing I think for us, and Five has at least he's already been there, but I think for maybe you and me, like you said, it's no longer a question about the basketball player anymore. It's just, how does he continue to get better as things change around him?
And I think he will. I think he still will get better. I think he can still become a better shooter. Like, I think his shooting can become consistent. I mean, you saw it at FIBA, man. Like, shit, man. He was. I mean, he might be the best defender, and he might just be he was the best defender. He's the best offensive player. Like, they didn't look like him until he showed up. They didn't look like that team. They didn't look like a team until Jose became a member of the team. His decision making can get better. Because sometimes he play like lightning in the bottle. So sometimes he playing off emotion. I think when he internally calms down, and that comes with experience and age and things like that. I think he'll become a better basketball player too. He can be TJ. I look at TJ McConnell as his blueprint. He can become TJ McConnell. He can be in the NBA a long time, right? He can make a lot of money, be in the NBA a long time, be an impactful player, be an annoyance. Because don't nobody else, though. It's hard to be an annoyance. It's hard to be Pat Bev. for real, it's hard to beat TJ McConnell. It's hard to beat Jose Alvarado. It's hard to beat those guys.
Dog,
yeah.
Talk about it. Because they weren't always, you know, how humbling it got to be from Pat Bev to have to turn into that individual when he was a dude that dominated in high school, dominated in college, and it's to say this is the character I have to turn into to survive and eat at the next level in the best basketball association in the world.
Yep. It's a different kind of you know, dedication to not only the game, but like to yourself. Yo, no matter what, I'm gonna be here. No matter what role you ask me to do, I'm gonna be here. TJ McConnell is not a scorer. He's never been a scorer, but like he a crafty player. And Jose Alvarado, I mean, I saw him at Georgia Tech. I'm a UNC fan. I knew the annoyance that he was, but I just didn't know he would blossom into this. I'm just happy, you know, I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see him get, you know, paid. But yeah, that 4 year 64, 6.4, he overplayed that.
Coming from where he came from, bro, I mean, he might not have ever thought he'd make $6 million in playing basketball.
He gonna be due for some more. His next iteration of a check, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be more than that. Whether it be the Pelicans or anybody else. Somebody go pay him.
That's what things get interesting. Can you afford to give can you give him a raise when you're talking about now you've upgraded your team to where he's, I don't know, I mean 8th, 9th, 10th best. I mean, I don't know. And now you have another ball handler. But again, that's the thing about Jose. Every time you're ready to say it's over with, he says no. So I think it's a really interesting situation as somebody who's willing, who's looking to get paid and looking to figure out what his next, the next part of his career looks like, and maybe feels like, he's earned a place in this league. He's earned a place, or maybe even a better role. I mean, who knows? But I mean, it's gonna be interesting, man, because it's something that we haven't talked a whole bunch about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna be curious to, I don't know how you grade or how you rate someone with all the question marks that this team has, like Jose, because on one side, he's a game changer.
Right.
Like 100%. Jose Alvarado changes games. That's valuable.
Yeah.
But how valuable is it when everything else is clicking? We'll see.
It's a part of, it's a part of a gumbo, dog. Like, you don't have a gumbo if you don't have all the ingredients.
Well, according to 2K, he's very valuable.
I still don't want to talk about that.
So, yeah, man, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I've said interesting about like 7 times in a row now. So, just.
You think it's going to be interesting?
Yeah. Because I don't know, man, but, at least, like, I thought we got to a part last season. I think it was right around the time Jordan Hawkins had dropped that 30 ball in Dallas. And then they played Dallas again, I think on Martin Luther King Day or whatever it was. And I thought, man, this might be the last that we see of Jose Alvarado as a regular in the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
And regardless for the reason, whether it was Willie's fault or his fault, it was not. So, but I do think he has value. I do think he has importance. I do think he's going to have essential parts involved in this season. He's going to win the Pelicans some games. There's games that he wins for this team every year. His future is just something that is really gonna take care of itself, man. So overall, though, if you had to say for him, what does he have to do in closing to continue fitting Matt Moore's definition, to continue to fit how Five thinks of Jose as being either the most or one of the most impactful bench players in basketball for this team? upcoming in next season or this season.
I think he gotta just continue being himself. Like you want him to. When I say like have a cool, that was about to be crazy. Have a cool internal temperature, right? Like you also don't want to take the aggressiveness away from his game because that's him. And when you start tweaking with that kind of shit, and players got to think instead of just doing, it mess everything up. But for me, it would just be, I would say, just smarter decisions with the basketball, like at time on the clock versus score versus do we get a 2-for-1 here? Just like typical point guard type things that he should have to look at. Has Zion not getting has he not gotten a touch in a couple minutes? Has Brandon not gotten the ball? When the last time Trey got a shot? Just things like that. And then just know like when is not your moment. I'm not supposed to shoot this right here because of who I'm on the floor with. Things like that. Which again, when you know, it's hard to you talk about David and Goliath, and you talk about how David had to slay the giant, right? Well, Jose is technically Goliath. I know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know he's small, but like he's not just a giant killer, he the giant. You know what I'm saying? So like it's probably hard for him to like him playing against Chris Paul. I have no doubt in my mind he felt like he's better than Chris Paul.
Which is crazy. But it goes into that delusion that we just got done talking about not too long ago. You gotta think that way to survive.
Gotta think that way. But things like the floater that he got, right? Him and CJ probably the only two people on the team with that shot. He gotta continue to shoot the floater, which is a giant killer. Continue to make shots. He continue to make threes, regardless if it's the Pelicans or whatever team it is. He gonna get paid because that three is the thing that TJ McConnell does not have, and that's gonna take Jose further than what TJ can go.
Agree, man. I think the three ball is everything, especially when you lack size and you're not a vocal point in someone's offense, or you're not the primary decision maker or even top 3 or 4. You know what I mean? So I think for him, that three ball is everything. It's going to allow him to continue to have opportunity and maybe more than we think. You know, if we're thinking about 15 minutes a game or 17, he played 18 minutes last season. There might be a team willing to give Jose Alvarado 20 plus minutes a game. You know what I'm saying? You know, there may be someone who views him as the bona fide 6-man coming off their team, right? Or coming off their bench. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In fact, I'm willing to bet that there is. And there will be moments where he will be again for this team. Roster construction kind of, clouds that. But yeah, man, shooting is going to be very important for him, specifically for this team, because I anticipate we don't know how the guard rotation is going to look. We don't know who he's going to be sharing time with. Will he be forced to be more of an off guard, or will he be able to do some of the things with the basketball that we've seen in the past? But last year, him running in transition without the basketball, him improving as a shooter, some of the best plays and moments of Jose Alvarado last year that I think of all include him hitting threes, all include him hitting big shots. And that's what has to continue, man. So, man, appreciate y'all again. We back doing what we do. Lito back from vacation. Last week was kind of weird. So, man, I hope y'all don't think we went away because we only put out like one show last week or something like that. Nah, man. Nah. The season almost here. I don't care if it's September. Season almost here. We rounding in the form, dog.
No. We following through. Famous last words. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, I'm back, man. Unfortunately, fucking hurricane took electricity away, so couldn't really do nothing with that. But Yeah, man. We pod, man. We done knocked 3 pods out the night. Shit. So, whatever y'all got, man. Much like Jose Alvarado, you can't make us go away. We can't be broken. Chris, I want to do a podcast about that one. I don't know if you got my voice note, dog, but I want to do that Wayne film breakdown. So, anyways, yeah.
We got to do that. And you know what? We will do that because you know what? We always gonna work, dog. We gonna put the work in, like you said, bro. It ain't our time till we say it is. For myself, for Lito, for DraftKings, Scott Vignair, Crystal Hot Sauce. We pretty much out of here. I thought I had a video of Scott Vignair, injury attorney. We fight for the win. So y'all just gonna have to deal with Stunner. Holla at y'all until next time.
I sit here and we zone out, you dig, and just appreciate how it came and thank God for the blessings.
Oh, Lulu.